Rosie, to cook Indian food, you need a lot of spice and a lot of aroma, and that's what I've got right in front of us. We're going to make a little spice mix, and I've got a great one here. What you could do is make this and put it in a jar, and every time you make something with a little bit of Indian flavour, you could sprinkle it on.
Great idea.
Easy to start with, about a half a teaspoon of clove, a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, nice and hot. I've got some allspice here, about a tablespoon of that goes in there. White pepper, really important, lots of flavour with white pepper, about a tablespoon of that as well. And I've got some cumin and coriander, also a tablespoon.
They're must-haves, aren't they?
Well, you must have some turmeric, and I've got 2 tablespoons of that. In that goes, and make sure I get every bit of it. Now, I'll get you to mix that around with the spoon so you get it all combined. Now, I've got some shanks here, some beautiful lamb shanks, and you could use just about any meat you want, but lamb shanks cook beautifully, nice and low and slow, plenty of flavour on them, and they come up really well. Now, I'll grab some of that spice mix. It will stain my fingers, but it is a great spice mix to use. Turn them over, grab it again, and sprinkle them on top there. Now, normally I would let them sit there for quite a while, let the spices get in there, but we'll get on to cooking them because that's what it's all about. So I've got a pot over here, and that's really hot. You can see it smoking away. I put a good amount of extra virgin olive oil in there because I want to sear off the lamb shank, get it nice and brown, and get those spices seared off as well. So in it goes. What you want to hear is that sizzle, that searing sound. That tells me all the good stuff is happening in this pot. Now, I've got another pan here. I'm going to use the 2-pan method. I've got it nice and hot as well, and I'll turn it up just a little bit more. Pour some olive oil in here, and I'll make the base curry sauce that'll sit on top of the lamb shank, that'll go together in the pot and then into the oven. So to put that together, I've got some garlic, some ginger, some of these Indian chilies, which are really hot and tasty.
They look it, don't they? They look dangerous.
They look really dangerous, and I've left the seeds in there. I've also got some curry leaves, so I'll just rip the leaves off the stem there, and that'll all go in there together. So the pan's nice and hot. I'll make sure that's up nice and high. In goes the onion and everything else in there. And to add some more flavour too, I've got some salt, and I'll just stir that round nice and gently, and as it warms up, the flavours will come together. And this is where the spice mix comes in. Not only do I use it on my lamb, but you use it when you're making the base sauce as well. You sprinkle some of that on, about 2 tablespoons, maybe just a little bit more because we love our flavour here.
We do.
In it goes. We'll sweat this off, brown this off, and hopefully when it's all come together, we'll add some yogurt, which makes it delicious, some tomato, a little bit of stock, and we'll make a beautiful rich sauce to go onto the lamb shanks. We'll be stirring this for a little while.
Smells so good.
It does, doesn't it?
Do you know what I love about Indian cooking? It's just all those spices have such medicinal properties. And of course, it tastes amazing too.
It does, it doesn't. All the onions have softened up, the spices have come together. Now, yogurt goes in there. I've got about 500 mils of yogurt, about 1.5 cups of tomato passata. I've got some chopped tomatoes as well.
Yep.
And to round it all off, I've got some stock as well. That sort of thins it out a bit and gives it a bit more flavour. Look at that. Now, my heat's really high, so it's coming up to temperature really, really quickly. And if you want to, you can just pour some stock straight onto the lamb shank as well. That'll get the action going in the pot over there. This is going to go into the oven for about 2 hours at 140 degrees Celsius. Now, this will go into the pot here like this, and I'll pour that over the top. It covers the lamb shanks. On goes the lid, and I'll grab a tea towel over here. We've got the oven preheated already, so into the oven we go. And then once we've got this done, we'll have to clean everything up, and I'll show you how to make my famous roti bread. You'll love this episode,
I'm
Rosie.
excited.
It is good. Rosie, the lamb shanks have got a few more hours to go. They're cooking nice and low and slow, and you can smell the aroma of all those spices coming out into the kitchen. They smell delicious, don't they?
Yes, they do.
They do, and we need something to go with the lamb shanks. So I'm going to make some roti bread. I've got 500 grams of wholemeal flour in the bowl here, and I'll add some yogurt.
Yogurt and wholemeal flour. Very, very happy about this so far.
Exactly. I've got some baking powder and a little bit of bicarb in there, about a teaspoon of each go in there. A little bit of sugar because we need a little bit of sweetness in there. And why not? We'll put a pinch of salt in there. Now, Rosie, I've got some milk in there.
Yes.
If you could measure me 500 mils of milk, which will give it the liquid that it needs. You don't add it all at once. The best way to make this is to add a little bit of liquid as you need it. A little bit of ghee goes in there, which is just clarified butter, and that's what I'll actually cook the roti bread in. And I'll just mix that around gently. If you could start pouring the milk in there, And I think if you get about 300 mils in there and stop, then we'll get a little bit more. Keep on going. You like pouring the milk over my fingers.
I like this. India is a birthplace of mindfulness, so a nice little slow cooking preparation.
Exactly. Now, the thing I know you like about Indian food is most of it's vegetarian, and they produce some of the best vegetarian food in the entire world. And you know what, Rosie? I'm feeling the dough. You can see it's quite wet. I reckon I've got about as much liquid as I need. So it's just a matter of mixing it around with your hands like that. What do you think of that?
Well, that just feels so much better. I mean, yes, you can get it from a packet, but when you make it yourself, there's a feeling there, isn't there? It's lovely.
Taking that extra couple of minutes to mix it all around like that. And you know what? I'm just going to pop it straight onto the board here. So grab it like that, pop it on the board, and keep this bowl because we need to rest it for later on. And just rub your hands together to get all that sticky dough off your fingers.
Bit of a messy job, but that's all part of the fun, isn't it?
It is part of the fun. You can see I've got a little bit of turmeric on my fingers, so the roti bread will have a bit of turmeric
Good luck
flavour.
taking that off.
And I'll just mix it around nice and gently till it comes together. It takes a couple of minutes, but you just knead it like this. You bring it back like this and push it. Now, I will get you to get a little bit of that milk, probably about a tablespoon on there, which to moisten that, just a tiny little bit.
Trick.
That's it. And we'll get the last little bit of that milk into the dough. Now, it's just a matter of kneading it around like this till it starts to come together. So what you're looking for is a nice, soft, sticky dough, just slightly sticky and just sticky enough to pick up all these other little pieces here.
So could you use this same recipe to actually use it as a pizza dough? I mean, it's versatile, right? You could use this again, couldn't you?
It is.
Something else.
Yeah, it's the same recipe.
A little bit of a different flavour.
Easily. Now, if you do find it gets a little bit too sticky, you just grab a little pinch of flour like this, dust the board here, and just knead it a little bit more. The only thing we need to do now, Rosie, is pop it back into the bowl like that, and then let it rest. I'll just give it 1, 2, so it's nice and tight. Exactly. I think I'll work up an appetite. By the time that curry comes out of the oven, we'll have this cooked and it will be beautiful. Now, it's quite tight like that. It's quite springy.
Yep.
That's OK. By the time it's rested and relaxed in the bowl here with a little bit of ghee on top, which will stop it from getting all crusty.
Nice.
There we go. A little bit on top there like that. You could use olive oil if you wanted to, just a couple of ladles of that on there. All we need to do now, Rosie, is let this rest for about an hour and a half or so. And I reckon if I get this dough nice and soft, rolled out and cooked in the pan here, I'll make my roti just as the lamb is coming out of the oven. What do you think of that?
Perfect.
Very nice, Rosie. We're ready to go. And then I'll grab some of your coriander, sprinkle it on top like that, and then I'll grab some of that garlic. I've got to be careful not to grab the garlic when there's a knife moving up and down
Not
close
finished.
to it.
Learn patience. That's what they teach us in India. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, just all about meditation.
I'll just get
Relax,
straight into
Richo.
it. A couple of pieces of garlic on there like that. Tear it apart and then...
Oh, lovely.
You like that?
Yeah.
Now, to make it stick on there, what you do, Rosie, is just with a rolling pin, you go over the top of it and that'll make the garlic stick into it.
Gorgeous.
It's very good.
That's lovely.
And then very carefully pick it up like this and then the garlic side down like that. This is a quick and simple way to make it at home. And once you've made it a few times, you can start experimenting with different ways. This will take about 3 or 4 minutes on that side. I'll flip it over, cook the other side. We'll cook a couple more of these and we will have the best roti bread to go with our lamb. You can see the air bubbles have come up there. That's what I'm looking for. And you just grab it with your finger like that. Look at that. Looks good, doesn't it?
Bella.
Rosie, have a look at that.
Whoa. Look at that colour.
And what you'll notice is there's a lot of oil on top, but that oil is really important. It's the extra virgin olive oil or ghee if you use ghee, and it picks up all the spices. That's where it gets its colour from, but it also has a lot of flavour. So don't be scared of it. It is an important part of the dish. Now, I'll just grab my spoon here and pull out one of these little shankies over there. And you can see, as soon as I pick it up, it looks really tender. I can tell already, but I'll show you how I know in a second. Pop some of that in there. Looks fantastic, doesn't it?
That is going to taste sensational.
I know already, it does. I can smell it. My mouth is watering.
Yeah.
And I'll just wipe down the side of that bowl there because we need to make sure it looks nice and pretty.
Smell.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Delicious.
All we need is a little bit of greenage on top. A few little herbs, some coriander, spring onions, whatever you've got on top of it.
That's fine dining.
Exactly, that's all you need. But this is the most important thing, Rosie. Already into the bread, look at you.
I think this is it. Well, it's dinner and a show. I just want to have a little look.
What I'm looking for is that real tenderness. When I just touch the meat, it just falls apart and falls off the bone. It's falling off my fork, it's that tender, and that's what you're looking for.
Well, I don't know about that, but this is delicious.
It's fantastic. You know, all the aroma of the curry flavours and the spices, and it's all come together beautifully, and that lovely lamb flavour as well. Now, I'm going to try some of the roti bread, tear it off like that.
Please do.
And you grab a bit of the lamb here like this and dip it into the sauce. Oh, this is heaven. How easy is it to make this bread?
Indian at its finest. It's great to have that in your little tool belt as well, I think. Well done.
I've got a big tool belt full of lamb.
You're a happy boy.